Hello everybody, I'm actually sitting down for the second time to record this because my words were rambly and I don't want to waste your time here. This video is going to be a little bit different than the videos I normally do. It's going to be about mental health, but it's not going to be me educating you. It's going to be talking about mental health on the YouTube platform and some frustrations that I have with it. It's going to be a little bit whiny, it's going to be a little bit complainy, it's going to be all of that stuff. You don't have to leave that down below in the comments. I'm already well aware. I have had all of the thoughts myself today, but this is something that's been concerning me for a long time. It affects my own mental health, and so I want to be honest. I want to let you guys know where I'm at. And really, I just want to bring awareness to this issue because I don't know if the casual YouTube viewer is aware. So let me do my part with my small audience. I'm grateful for all of you that are out there, but I think more people need to be talking about this, so here I am. Okay, so I will be getting up every now and then. I want to try to not edit this down too much, but I'm going to get up every now and then to switch off the camera because I don't have good equipment, and if I don't break it every couple of minutes, I may have a screwed up chunk of video and not be able to use the whole thing. So I'd rather cut my losses and maybe lose a 2-minute chunk of video than lose the entire 20 minutes or however long this is going to be that I film. All right, so that out of the way, what am I talking about today? Philip DeFranco uploaded a video called Tired, Frustrated, Excited. And he was talking about the YouTube algorithm. Now, I want to talk about YouTube and its problems with mental health creators, but YouTube has problems with creators across the board. And I'm going to say it's not just people on the right, it's also people on the left. So I don't want to get into a political thing here. YouTube just has problems. And depending on your ideology, you're going to see it differently, you know, what you think the problem is and who's responsible for it. I just want to highlight that the problem is there. A quick history on how I got started on YouTube. So back in 2008-ish, I first looked up on YouTube something that I wasn't sure what was going on in my life. I was trying to understand it, so I was looking up different mental disorders, and I watched a YouTube video by a woman in the middle of like a lecture, which is funny because I still watch these lectures now because I find them so fascinating, but it was like a psychology lecture for other psychiatrists. It wasn't really for some random person on YouTube to watch, but she spoke about her condition and everything clicked, and my life from that point forward changed. And since then, I've been going back to YouTube to get mental health information and to educate myself. And finally, a couple of years ago, after going through a major life change, the passion came into me and I said, I have to do this. I have to be a part of this because I have this wealth of knowledge because I've always been interested in psychology. And I felt like my voice wasn't out there. There wasn't somebody from my perspective talking about things. There were people getting like pieces of my perspective, but I didn't feel like there was me speaking. So I wanted to speak up as myself and be a part of this mental health community, which I love this mental health community. It's not just YouTube, it's everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, all over social media. Yes, there's more than just Facebook and Instagram, but those are the ones that I'm on. And this community is very large and has a lot of different viewpoints, and I just love being a part of it. But this mental health gets shut down on YouTube in a few ways, so let's get into that before I keep rambling. Okay, so Phil's video today. Phil is somebody who does the news on YouTube. You probably have heard Phil DeFranco before. He does a lot of controversial news topics, a lot of stuff sometimes that's violent or graphic or sensitive in nature, or whatever you want to call it. And so YouTube demonetizes a lot of his videos. That means that he's not able to earn ad revenue on them. And for somebody like him, you know, is it a big deal? I don't know. He has employees, he has a business to take care of, so he has a lot of responsibility. But it matters to somebody like me for sure, whether or not I get ad revenue. And what I get right now is not a lot, but every penny counts in my situation. I don't know if people are really aware Every video that I do, even if it's like 3 minutes long, can take me 5 to 8 hours to do, depending on the editing and like how involved the video is. I usually take about an hour to script out my videos. The thumbnail takes at least a half an hour. Like there's a lot of prep that goes behind doing a video, uploading descriptions, social media, all of it. But that's not what this is about. So let's talk about the advertising issue. Demonetization means you can't earn ad revenue. It's doing a YouTube channel just for a hobby. Okay, you can do that, but you're not going to reach people. If you want it to be a thing, my cat is walking in the way and distracting me as she usually does, but we're going to try not to edit this out. If you want it to just be a hobby, you can go ahead and do that, but you're not going to reach that many people unless you're really good at gaming the algorithm. Unfortunately, YouTube is set up right now, and YouTube is a big corporation. YouTube has their own goals and their own needs, so I'm not knocking YouTube here. They're set up so that you have to be uploading frequently, and this is why I do 5 days a week. They don't want to see people dropping off. They just instituted new rules that you can't even earn money on the platform unless you have 4,000 hours, 4,000 hours of watch time in the past 12 months. Basically, they want you engaged because they want you to have an audience that's engaged. That would be you. I'm also an audience of many other people on YouTube. And they want people on the platform, and they want people watching ads so that they have a sustainable business model so that it works out for everybody. That's the idea anyway, hopefully. So you may have heard of the Adpocalypse on YouTube. This happened like a year and a half or 2 years ago. I don't quite remember. I've only been on the platform for a year, going towards 2 years. I'm not there yet. And so YouTube has made a number of changes throughout the years that have made it very difficult for a small creator, somebody starting from the bottom, to get known. And they continually change things, and I don't know what their goal is. I suspect that their goal is just to bring in as much revenue as possible because it's not an easy business to sustain, and they need to stay afloat. I get that. But when it comes to me, a small creator, the demonetization thing sucks. So the Adpocalypse happened because PewDiePie got called out on something which was blown up to be, I believe, more than it really was, because traditional media wants to take down YouTube a notch, most likely. You know, YouTube has been carving a space out of revenue that traditional media could be earning money from. And they don't really like that. And you may have noticed, like this year and last year a little bit, a lot of old traditional media shows and celebrities, they're starting to flood into YouTube. And I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. I know it's competition. I know it takes away from my slice of the pie or whatever. But it does affect us as a whole because YouTube appears to be catering to that old media, because part of that old media are the advertisers. And when PewDiePie got slammed by the old media, I'm just calling it the old media, just generalizing here, give me some slack. When this happened, my cat's distracting me again, making slurping noises as usual. When this happened, the advertisers pulled out. All of the people with lots and lots of money pulled away. YouTube freaked out. YouTube needs to stay afloat. They need money to stay afloat. They're not getting money from you. The only way they get money is from advertisers who are paying to get in front of you. So a lot of advertisers pulled out, the big advertisers, and YouTube switched around things, and they continually switch around things, and it's gotten stricter, and it's affecting people like me. Now, what's going on is they're trying to be careful about sensitive information. They don't want to upset advertisers again, and they don't want advertisers to run away. They are now seeing competition from people like Facebook and Twitch, and they're trying to hold their own. So, recently, you've got two issues here. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it to you without rambling on and without confusing you. There's two major issues going on right now. You have this demonetization thing where if you It's sometimes hard to understand why you're going to be demonetized. I have about 46 videos that are demonetized. I have about 347 videos on my channel. About 46 of them are demonetized. Majority of them I can understand why. There are certain topics, there are certain words that once you put those in the video or speak them out of your mouth, because YouTube is smart enough to know what you're saying, they close caption things. Sometimes they get it wrong, and that's a problem. Once that happens, you're like instantly demonetized. The algorithm sees that and says, nope, we don't want to put ads on this video because it might upset somebody, an advertiser. So then you have that issue, and then you have this separate issue of something that they've never really spoken about, and it's kind of like a hidden thing, and that's part of the frustration here, and that's that they have these tiers, kind of like you could think of on TV, how you have like mature rating, teen, different levels, kid-friendly, rated G or whatever, the movie ratings, however you want to conceptualize it. There's different categories of like ages, or what ages maturity level content is appropriate for. The issue with this rating system is that, number one, we don't know about the system. We've never been explicitly told about it, but a study has been done by a YouTuber, SEALOW. I'm going to link to that down below. There's a great video and there's a great report that you should read over if you're a YouTuber. And there was also a video done by Nerd City that explains it maybe a little bit more in a fancy, dramatic way if you need to be entertained. I know I'm probably boring you with this video. But the main issue here with that is that, number one, we don't know the details about it. Number two, just like the monetization, we don't know which words are bad words. And it appears like there's some words that get excluded. Like for me, I found it very helpful to know this. I needed to know this for a video that I did recently. When you put "me too" in the tags of the video, apparently that kind of like takes you out of the censorship, we'll call it. Censorship may be harsh, whatever. The problem, I'm hearing a horn and I'm getting distracted again. I apologize. Normally I edit this stuff out of my real videos. Although I suppose this is a real video. The issue here is that when you get into these categories, you don't know which category you're in, you don't know why you're in the category, and depending on which category you're in, your video will get shown to less people, fewer people. So once that happens, you can spend 8 hours, 10 hours. If it's a big video, my first what I thought was a big video, I believe got put into a category and not shown to people, and that was upsetting because I spent days on that video. So what happens is it gets shown to fewer people. Not only is it shown to fewer people so you don't get reached as far, the way that YouTube works, if your video doesn't get seen, if it doesn't get a lot of views, if people don't watch till the end, within the first 24 and 48 hours, basically your video is gone. It gets thrown in the garbage. It's not worth anything anymore. People are never going to see it unless sometimes there's a fluke and it kind of like comes back from the dead for a little bit, but then it's complicated. This stuff is all complicated, and this stuff runs through my mind every single day, and frustration, tired, exhausted. Yes, Phil, I understand. So mental health. Mental health has a lot of topics that people would consider to be sensitive. And although a lot of topics don't get censored, I'm just using the word censored here, a lot of topics don't get demonetized. There are some things that I avoid saying. Before I sat down to do this video, I was like, I'm not going to say that word. I'm not going to say this word. I'm definitely not going to say that word because it's going to be a problem. There is certain categories of videos which I veer away from making. Categories that people have actually said they would like to see more of me making, but I stay away from them sometimes because I know that I can't earn money on it. I know it's not going to reach people, so why am I going to spend all that time? there are important topics that need to be discussed that I shy away from because, again, I don't know if it's going to reach people. I I typically don't talk about things in a very triggering way, usually. I don't talk about things in an offensive way. And yet, like I said, 46 of my videos have been demonetized. That means they're probably also in a mature kind of category. And then there's a number on top of that, I'm sure, bigger than that 46 that are also in a category like that. When I go into my statistics, I am not reaching, I know it's probably wrong, but I'm not reaching a single person under the age of 18. And I can't see why that would be true on my channel. That doesn't make any sense to me because not every single video that I do is of a topic that should be for people above 18. And I can't imagine that people under 18, I know I've spoken to some of you who I'm pretty sure are under 18, are not watching the videos. So it's a mess. It's a mess is what I'm getting at. And when you're a mental health YouTuber, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating as a mental health YouTuber in particular because you know that mental health does not get a lot of attention in the general public. You know that people don't like to talk about mental health. You know that it makes people uncomfortable. You know that it's stigmatized. You know that part of your job as a mental health advocate is to help people not see the stigma, to help people, what I try to do, humanize mental health. I try to help people see that it's okay to talk about these things. And it's hard to get people to feel like it's okay to talk about these things if I can't reach people, if I'm not being put in the search algorithm in a higher spot. Maybe I should say it the other way. If I'm being pushed down because I'm being mature as a rating, or if I'm not in the suggested area for the same reason, you know, I'm not reaching people. I blame myself for that in many ways because I know that my videos are not that great. I'm sure you have, if you've watched me since the beginning, or at least close to the beginning, you can go back and look at my old videos. They've improved a lot because I know what I should be doing. This video I know is not a great example of a good video, but that's okay. And I know I have a lot of improvement to make, but my point here is that there are, regardless of my own talent and my own performance and my own ability to keep you entertained and educated and liking stuff, which I know many of you do, so it is what it is, there's this other system that punishes me for being a mental health YouTuber because it thinks that the things that I talk about are sensitive topics, even if the way I discuss them is not offensive, even if the way I discuss them is very careful, very nuanced, even if I don't get political, even like it doesn't matter. Just because I have a one word in the video, that whole video goes away. And something that concerns me is I wonder if my entire channel is put into a category and then it's not so easy for people to find my stuff. Again, I don't know because although this report that was done helps us to see what's going on, sort of, it doesn't paint the full picture, and YouTube isn't transparent. So I understand why YouTube isn't transparent. They don't want people to be able to game what they're doing. They don't want bad actors, or however you want to describe it, to be able to come in and screw things up. But YouTube is also a platform where their algorithm right now is rewarding things like drama because YouTube is looking for trends. YouTube wants people to come to YouTube, to be interested in YouTube and to stay on YouTube. And the algorithms right now reward news. They reward trends. They reward things. If you go into the search right now, that everybody remembers the fidget spinners, right? Now we have the Japanese aluminum foil balls, and I'm sure it'll be something else, but they reward trends. They reward this very reactionary culture, which is kind of like the opposite of good mental health, right? Good mental health is not being reactionary. Good mental health is not about getting upset and screaming. Good mental health is not going into the forest, and you know what I'm talking about. And yet YouTube is rewarding these things through the algorithm. Now, I don't think that YouTube necessarily is intentionally rewarding specific things like the prankster channels and the, sorry to call you out if you're a prankster channel, but some of them, you know what I'm talking about. There's crap out there, and I'm not trying to be like all censorship. I'm not trying to be all let's regulate everything. Although I do fall on the side of I believe some things should be regulated. I think we should be very careful about how we regulate things, and I believe everybody should be at the table discussing that. I think that the algorithm may be succeeding for YouTube's goal of getting money and getting advertisers placated for now. But as far as being a creator, it's not fun. A lot of creators have moved over to Patreon as an income source so that they're a little bit more stable. I've tried it. It's not going so great for me. Thank you to my patrons, though. I really, really do appreciate you. I'm constantly in there posting, asking for what it is that you want. So if you're a patron and you haven't checked that out, go look, because I just put a poll up today. You guys are what I actually care about. I'm stuck in this frustrating spot, which is the frustrating spot of being a mental health YouTuber, of producing content constantly, exhausting myself. I won't even get into it. My sleep has been horrible lately, constantly going through periods of minor depression as a result of trying to reach people on YouTube. I take responsibility for what portion of that is my own, so I'm not blaming YouTube here for all of that. Okay, you know what? It's getting to be a lot. I know this video is already long because I've counted in my head about how many times I've made a 5-minute video. So I'm going to have to cut this short. I'm going to encourage you to look at the report that I'm talking about so you don't think I'm just like making crap up here. This is a real thing that's going on YouTube. I think people should know about it. I think if you have mental health YouTubers that you like, you should support them. You should subscribe to them. You should comment on their videos. Like, YouTube cares about engagement. Use your subscription feed. Don't rely on your home page to see the videos of people. Don't rely on those notifications unless you hit the bell and you say you want to be notified every time, although even that's a little bit wonky. What I do when I go on YouTube is I go straight to my subscriptions. I don't go to the homepage. The homepage, very rarely do I care about it. I want to see the people who I'm here to see, and I want to support those people. I put their videos on a watch later list, and I go down the list when I have time, because I want to make sure that their voice is heard, that I'm listening, that I'm interacting. That's my approach to YouTube as a creator, because I know how much work goes into being a creator, and it's really frustrating to not feel like you're reaching people. So I'm not perfect at it. I'm one person. I do what I can. But YouTube has set up a system currently in April 2018 that is not so great for small YouTubers in general. Frustrating as a mental health YouTuber. I have noticed other mental health YouTubers, as I mentioned, I'm going to go on a little bit more here and then I'm going to shut out because I forgot I did want to say this. I noticed when I started coming on YouTube in 2016, the end of September 2016, I noticed that I was trying to do research and I was looking for other mental health channels, and I noticed there were all these mental health channels that were really popular at one point and then they just stopped uploading, and I'm like, what is that about? That's kind of strange. But I didn't really think too much about it. I mean, I thought it was weird, but I thought, okay, they just moved on. They had other things in life to do, whatever. They needed to get a job to get income, whatever it is, something that may likely happen to me. And then recently, I've been noticing a lot of mental health YouTubers who've been around for years. They're also kind of making a lot of changes, trying new things, and I understand why they're doing it, because I'm one, and because of a lot of these issues I've been talking about. And you may have noticed I've been trying new things. I've been trying to chase some trends. I've been trying to do newsworthy topics, because this is the only way, by hitching a ride on a news topic like a parasite, that I can reach people. And it works. It actually works. When I do a video on something that I think should be popular, that I think you guys, my subscribers, will like, I see the numbers. Some of you may be watching it, but not all of you, and I get it, because some of you subscribe because I did a schizoid video. You don't care about narcissism. Some of you subscribe because I did a bipolar video or something. You don't care about avoidance. Like, not everything's gonna like everybody's gonna like everything, but I need to reach people, and the only way I can do that to grow is to hitch a ride on news. So I've just noticed that a lot of people are trying a lot of new things because YouTube has switched around so much that we're all frustrated. It's not going so great for a lot of small creators. It's very frustrating. Get involved with the people on YouTube. Talk to them if you're interested. If you like this platform, I can't imagine you watched this whole video if you don't like YouTube to some degree. So yeah, talk to people, get involved. Don't just be a passive viewer. I don't know what else to say at this point. I just wanted to bring awareness to this issue so that you understood what's going on behind the scenes, because I don't know, part of me, yes, just wanted to get this off my chest, but part of me also wanted to give a greater understanding of what happens behind the camera, because I do these videos and I script them and I do them very carefully and everything. And not that you need to know everything that goes on behind the camera, but there's going to come a point where I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. And I've already wondered to myself, like, should I just switch over to another platform? I've noticed a number of YouTubers in general, not just mental health, have been switching over to Twitch. That's something that would be very hard for me to do because my environment is not really the best for live streaming. I don't know. So it is what it is. Thank you for listening. I just hope that you're more aware, and that's all I can really ask for. Just be aware of what's going on YouTube, why it's frustrating for people, and if you want to do something, just support the people who are out there and continue to spread mental health awareness yourself, because that is probably the best thing you can do when it comes to mental health. Talk about your own story. Okay, that's it, I guess. Thank you for allowing me to rant. I apologize that this was a long one. It needed to come out. This is not going to be how my channel is going to continue in the future. I'm going to continue doing educational stuff. I have a lot of ideas for maybe this summer. Again, I don't know. I just don't know. It's very chaotic right now. All right, at least in my head it's chaotic. Thank you. If you're new here for some reason and you watched all of that, please subscribe. That would be nice. And welcome. I talk about mental health videos. Ta-ta, everybody.